I decided to do another one. The guy I'm talking about today, Scottish fugitive, a wanted killer, a man the British called a pirate, Rear Admiral in the Russian Navy, and the father of the American Navy. He also might be the only person whose famous quote, the one that they put on monuments, he probably never actually said it. His name was John Paul Jones, and yes, that was a fake name. Born John Paul, just John Paul, no Jones. On July 6, 1747, in a small cottage in Scotland, his father was a gardener. His family maintained, but they were poor. As a little kid, he'd go down to the port and act out his imagination, like we all did, fighting with sticks. He'd act out tiny naval battles with his friends, issuing orders like a miniature captain. At 13, he signed onto a merchant vessel. By 21, he was the captain of his own ship. After the captain and the first mate both died of yellow fever mid-voyage, and he just brought it home himself. So here's where shit gets a little complicated. In 1770, he had a crew member flogged for shirking duties. That shit happens. You do it. Well, unfortunately, the guy died a few weeks later. He got out of that one legally. Then in 1773, in Tobago, he killed the ringleader of a mutinous crew and claimed self-defense, which, by all accounts, it was. They attacked him and he handled it. But he fled to the islands to avoid trial. He concealed his identity by adding the surname Jones. John Paul became John Paul Jones, a fugitive with a new name, hiding out in Virginia when the Revolution broke out. The father of the American Navy, the Scottish pirate, America's first naval hero, British chapbooks, basically the tabloids of the day, painted him as a ruthless, marauding asshole akin to Blackbeard. Parents terrified their children with his name. In America, though, he's a hero. In Britain, a monster. Same canoe, different paddle, just depends on what side of the river you were on. Jones joined the Navy in 1775 and was commissioned lieutenant. He was promoted to captain in 1776 and pretty much proceeded to destroy British fisheries in Nova Scotia and capture 17 ships along the way. He was like, I'm going out and doing some shit. That wasn't enough for him. He wanted to bring the war to Britain itself. At 3 a.m. on April 23, 1778, Jones led 30 volunteers in 2 small boats to raid the port of Whitehaven, England, where by his own account, 400 or so British merchant ships were anchored. Why Whitehaven specifically? Because that's where he started his sailing career at 13. He knew exactly where everything was. He sailed back to attack his own hometown in the middle of the night. One of his own crew, an Irishman who had enlisted under a fake name specifically to get back to Britain, turned traitor and ran through town, waking everybody up. And I know that guys were supposed to do one thing, like set some boats on fire, but the powder was wet due to the weather and nothing ever got done, so it just turned into, fuck it, I'll do it myself. Jones went ahead and set fire to the ships, spiked all the cannons on the fort, and bounced. He wasn't done for the day. That same morning, he crossed the Southway Firth towards Scotland with a new plan. He's gonna kidnap the Earl of Selkirk and trade him out for some American guys. He landed with 12 guys. The Earl wasn't home, just the Countess and her 7-year-old son. Plans ruined, crew's pissed. They didn't come all this way for nothing. The Countess actually handled the whole home invasion with such cool composure that she actually invited Jones in for dinner. He declined and waited outside like a gentleman while his officers went in and walked the house and grabbed stuff. And according to legend, the crew didn't take anything. Jones took a single silver plate. Here's a twist. Jones was so impressed by how the Countess carried herself that he wrote a fucking apology letter to her and personally bought back every piece of that silver out of his own pocket and shipped it back to her. A wanted fugitive who burned down half a harbor that same morning returning stolen silverware because a woman handled getting robbed with too much class to be left alone with a guilty conscience. She needs her own fucking story. If you want to know my honest opinion, it was a hoodie trick. He stole her silverware, brought it back so he could see her again, get in contact. One of his best friends was a notorious slut by the name of Benjamin Franklin. It was his mentor. They were pen pals. Anyways, I'm getting off track. The general panic from all of this spread so badly that the press actually said it was fake. They trumped him up. He replaced Blackbeard as Britain's foremost boogeyman. All the kids were scared of him. And this is why. Because no fucking foreign power in like 500, 600 years has attacked Britain. John Paul Jones rolls up and he's like, bitches, we needs to have a chat. September 23rd, 1779, this is the one. Jones had been given command of a French merchant ship that he converted to a warship named the Bon Richard in honor of Benjamin Franklin. It was old, it was slow, it was barely seaworthy, and all of this was after he was promised like ship of the line. Like, you're gonna get upgraded to the top tier because you are a badass. Here's all your cool gear. And he shows up and the ship is shit. France. Off the coast of England, he spotted a convoy of British cargo ships loaded with naval supplies guarded by a brand new 50-gun HMS Serapis. Jones outgunned? Absolutely. His response? Let's go, boys. The battle began at night. Both ships opened fire. The Richard was getting destroyed. Two of Jones's own cannonballs blew up inside his ship. His crews panicked, and some started calling for surrender. Jones grabbed one of them, pistol whips his ass into oblivion. Jones maneuvered like a boss and lashed the Bon Richard directly onto the Serapis. Locked the two ships together so the British couldn't use their guns. I mean, they could, but, you know, you got the chance of one ship going down, the other one's going to be fucking drugged down too. Then came the moment. The captain of the Serapis asked Jones if he had struck his colors, the naval signal for surrender. From his burning, sinking, half-destroyed jalopy of a ship, Jones replied, "Have not yet begun to fight." Allegedly. He might not have even said it. Jones stated that he replied in the most determined negative way. Other accounts say he said, "I'll be damned before I strike," or I may sink, but I'll be damned if I strike. More than likely just got polished up later. Here's what we know for sure. Whatever he actually said, the Serapis surrendered 3.5 hours later. Somebody threw a grenade into the hatch on the Serapis. It exploded the arms magazine. Captain Pearson had no choice but to strike his colors. Jones transferred his crew to the Serapis and cut the Richard loose, letting that piece of shit sink into the abyss. He lost his own ship but won the battle and sailed home on the prize. Louis XVI gave him a gold sword and the Order of Military Merit. Congress gave him a medal. And Paris agreed with him in more ways than one. While he was being roommates with us, I'm definitely doing a story just on Ben Franklin's escapades. Anyways, John Paul Jones was rooming up with Benjamin Franklin in Paris. He met a countess at a party, and the two of them struck up a full-blown love affair. He nicknamed her Delia, and she wrote him a stack of genuinely unhinged, passionate love letters that still survive today. Benjamin Franklin's whole social circle in Paris ran on this kind of thing. He was a slut. Whatever. Game recognizes game. So after the revolution, Catherine the Great of Russia personally requested he serve in the Russian Navy. They made him a rear admiral. He fought the Turks in the Black Sea. Then he retired to Paris, July 18, 1792, broke and largely forgotten. Then a few years later, in 1905, after a lengthy search, his remarkably well-preserved body was found buried in Paris. President Teddy Roosevelt personally intervened to have him brought home. His remains were reinterred in an ornate tomb at the Naval Academy in Annapolis in 1913. So yeah, another guy who got dug up and moved after death. It seems to be a theme with these fucking people. He was a Scottish gardener's son, a fugitive, a killer, and a pirate to half the world, a hero to the other half. He sailed right up Britain's taint and attacked them on their home turf with a ship that was fucking falling apart. Robbed a countess and then basically left his hoodie at her house. Got into some torrid love affairs while crashing with Ben Franklin, which I think anybody fucking would. These past 2 videos, I know I've went on about Benny a lot. Probably one of my favorite characters that happens to be a founding father is Benjamin Franklin, just because of his antics. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Honestly, who the fuck knows what these two actually got up to when they were living together? I can only imagine. Anyways, got dug up 100 years later by Teddy Roosevelt. John Paul Jones helped build the American Navy, but thinking about it, John Paul Jones is the spirit of America. The whole thing, the attitude, the audacity, and after all of that, everything's just trying to keep up. I'll see you tomorrow. Best way to support this, share this. Comment on this. Tell me what you like about the episode, what you didn't like, how I can't talk, how I stumble over my words all the time because I'm blumbering. Let me know. Feedback works. I'm working on the hair. It's hard to maintain. Anyways, here's the link for the other channel. This is going to be a whole thing. You might buckle up.